You know, we live in a world obsessed with timing. Everyone's racing, comparing, measuring their lives by someone else's stopwatch. But here's the truth that most people forget. Time doesn't decide your purpose. You do. There's no expiration date on the things that live inside your heart. Some people bloom early and some bloom later, but every flower still faces the same sun. Maybe you've been told it's too late to start again, too late to change paths, too late to become what you might have been. That voice that says, you missed your chance, it's not truth, it's fear disguised as reason, and fear is clever. It'll show up wearing logic's face and whisper, be realistic. But dreams were never meant to be realistic. They were meant to be possible. Time isn't your enemy, it's your ally if you learn to see it that way. Every experience you've had, the heartbreaks, the failures, the long nights wondering if you're enough, those weren't wasted years. They were preparation. You weren't late, you were in training. Sometimes the universe withholds the moment until you're strong enough, grounded enough, and clear enough to handle what you asked for. And that's not punishment, that's protection. The world tries to convince us that success belongs to the young, to the early starters, to the ones who figured it out fast. But you can't rush wisdom. You can't download experience. The richest art, the deepest stories, the most powerful transformations, they all come from people who have lived, who have fallen, who have started again. The truth is, there's something extraordinary about beginning again after you've already lived a little. You bring depth to the dream, you bring soul to the start. You see, purpose isn't a moment you miss, it's a melody that keeps playing until you decide to sing along. Life doesn't care about your age, your mistakes, or your timeline. It cares about your willingness to show up. There's no too late for someone who decides they're ready now. The clock only matters if you're running a race, but you're not. You're growing, evolving, expanding. The question isn't how much time do I have left? The question is what can I do with the time I have now? Because right now, this breath, this moment is the only place dreams ever begin. You can start again 1,000 times, and it'll still be beautiful, because starting again means you refused to give up on the miracle of becoming. Don't let the noise of the world rush you. Don't let the ticking clock scare you. The timing of your life is perfect, even when it doesn't feel like it. Every second you think you've lost is already being recycled into wisdom, compassion, and strength. You didn't miss your chance. You were just gathering what you needed to finally take it. So if you've been standing on the edge, looking at the life you want, thinking, it's too late for me, stop, take a deep breath, look again. The door's still open. The path is still there. The dream hasn't moved on without you. It's been waiting patiently for you to remember who you are and take that first step. Because the truth is, it's never too late to start again. Failure, that word alone makes people shrink. It makes their stomachs twist, their hearts race, their dreams hesitate. We've been conditioned to fear it, to treat it like a dead end, a verdict, a sign that we should stop trying. But failure isn't the end, it's the invitation. It's life's way of saying, you're ready to learn something you couldn't have known otherwise. Every time you fall, something extraordinary is happening. You're being redirected, reshaped, reintroduced to the truth about yourself. The truth that you're not fragile, you're not defined by the moments that broke you. You're defined by the courage it takes to stand up after them. The only people who never fail are the ones who never try, and that's not living, that's hiding. You see, every story worth telling is built on moments of collapse. The actor who got rejected 100 times before the breakthrough, the writer whose words were turned down until one day they weren't, the dreamer who kept showing up even when no one was clapping. Those aren't tales of failure. They're love stories between persistence and destiny. Because when you choose to keep going, even when it hurts, you're showing life that you're serious. You're saying, I'm not here for what's easy, I'm here for what's real. Failure doesn't mean you were wrong. It means you were brave enough to take a step into the unknown. And that step, even if it lands on shaky ground, still moves you forward. You learn what doesn't work, you shed what isn't you, and you begin again with sharper eyes and a stronger heart. That's how growth happens, not in perfection, but in the trying, the breaking, and the rebuilding. We've got this strange idea that success is a straight line. But if you look closer, every great success is a messy, scribbled drawing full of loops and detours. Each mistake is a stroke of color on the canvas. You can't see it while you're in the middle of it, but when you step back, you realize those wrong turns created the shape of your strength. The pain you thought would break you actually carved space for something better to grow, and the universe has a funny way of using those failures as fuel. Every time you fall, it's not punishment, it's preparation. You're being molded into someone capable of holding the dream you asked for. Because if you got everything you wanted without struggle, you wouldn't be ready for it. You wouldn't know how to keep it, protect it, or appreciate it. The fire that tests you is the same fire that forges you. So don't curse the fall, thank it. Thank the doors that closed, the jobs that didn't work out, the people who walked away. Each of them was part of the sacred unraveling that makes space for who you're meant to become. Sometimes you don't lose. You're just being cleared of what was never yours. Starting again after failure isn't weakness, it's power. It's proof that your spirit is stronger than your scars. That even after disappointment, there's still something inside you that believes, something that refuses to quit. And that belief, that quiet, relentless faith, is what pulls you forward when logic says it's over. So the next time life knocks you down, smile a little. Wipe the dust from your knees. You've just been invited to start again, but this time with more wisdom, more courage, and more truth than before. Because failure isn't the end of your story, it's just the page before the comeback. There's a point in every person's life when they realize that holding on can feel heavier than letting go. We cling to what's familiar, the old dreams, the lost chances, the people we thought would stay forever. We hold tight to the version of ourselves that once fit perfectly, not realizing it's become too small. But here's the thing, you can't start fresh with your hands full. To begin again, you have to let go. Not because what you had wasn't valuable, but because it already gave you what it was meant to give. We get attached to our past because it gives us a sense of identity. Even our pain becomes something we wear like a badge, proof that we've lived, that we've tried. But the same stories that once helped us survive can become the very walls that keep us from growing. You can't climb to new heights while dragging the weight of what could have been. You have to be brave enough to release it, to say, that chapter served me. Now it's time for a new one. Letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about forgiving yourself, others, and life itself. It's about releasing the constant replay of what went wrong. Because as long as you're staring at the door that closed, you'll never notice the one that's been open this whole time. The universe doesn't take things away to punish you. It removes them to make room for what's next. And what's next can't come if you're clinging to what's gone. Maybe you're still carrying the weight of a mistake, a heartbreak, a missed opportunity. Maybe you wake up each morning replaying the same what-if scenario in your mind. But every time you do that, You're giving your past more power than your future. The truth is, you can't rewrite what's already happened, but you can decide what it means to you now. You can turn pain into perspective. You can turn endings into openings. That's the beauty of life. It's constantly inviting you to begin again if you're willing to loosen your grip. Sometimes we're afraid to let go because we think it means losing control. But control is an illusion. We never had it to begin with. What we do have is choice. The choice to stop carrying what hurts and start walking toward what heals. The moment you stop resisting the flow of change, you stop suffering, because suffering is just the mind arguing with what is. Letting go can be quiet. It doesn't always come with fireworks or grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as taking a deep breath and saying, "I don't need to fight this anymore." Sometimes it's closing the laptop, ending the call, or walking away from something that no longer serves your peace. And that's not weakness, that's strength in its purest form, because starting again doesn't require you to rebuild the old life. It asks you to create something entirely new, something lighter, freer, more honest. There's a beautiful irony in life. When you finally let go of what you thought you wanted, you often receive exactly what you truly need. That's the reward for surrender clarity. When your hands are no longer gripping the past, they're finally open to receive the future. So if you're standing at a crossroads right now, wondering if it's time to release something you've outgrown, listen closely. That tightness in your chest isn't fear, it's your soul asking for space. It's life whispering, "Let it go, you're ready." Because the moment you let go of what was, you begin to make room for what can be. Starting over doesn't always look dramatic. It's not about waking up one morning with a grand plan and a perfect mindset. Most of the time, it begins quietly with one small step. One decision that maybe no one else even notices, and that's the beauty of it. We've been taught to believe that transformation has to be massive, that we need to make big moves to prove we're serious. But the truth is, the small steps are the ones that truly change everything. When you're trying to start again, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the distance between where you are and where you want to be. You look at that gap and think, "How could I ever get there?" But the journey isn't about leaping, it's about walking one steady, intentional step at a time. The dream might feel huge, but the path is made up of small, almost invisible moments of courage, the kind where you choose to keep going when no one's watching, the kind where you show up for yourself on days you don't feel ready. People underestimate consistency. They chase bursts of motivation, those short-lived moments when everything feels possible, but motivation fades. What really builds your life is momentum. Every little choice adds up. Every morning you decide to try again. Every time you silence the voice that says it's pointless. You're building something powerful. You're rewiring the story of who you think you are. Think about it. No mountain is climbed in a single stride. No book is written in one sitting. No healed heart becomes whole in a single day. Every big, extraordinary thing you've ever admired was born out of countless small, ordinary actions. The problem is, we often don't give ourselves credit for the small things because we think they don't matter. But they do, they matter more than anything, because one small step in the right direction can shift your entire life. It's easy to feel stuck when you measure your progress only by visible results. But growth happens long before the world sees it. A seed doesn't sprout the day it's planted. It takes time underground, unseen, gathering strength. You might be in that phase right now, doing the work no one applauds, healing in silence, believing without proof. But that doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means the foundation is being built, and when it's time, you'll rise stronger, steadier, ready. Starting again doesn't require you to fix everything overnight. You just have to take the next right step. That's it. Maybe that step is getting out of bed. Maybe it's sending one email, making one call, forgiving one person, or even forgiving yourself. Whatever it is, it's enough, because small steps done with heart can move mountains over time. Sometimes the smallest act of courage is just choosing not to quit. And that's what most people miss, that quiet persistence. It's not glamorous. No one claps for it. But that's the kind of effort that changes lives. Because eventually, all those tiny, unseen efforts build something unstoppable: momentum, confidence, belief. You don't need to have it all figured out to begin. You just need to begin. The road reveals itself as you walk it. Life rewards movement. The universe meets you halfway, but only when you take that first small step. So if you're waiting for the perfect moment, stop. It doesn't exist. What exists is now. What exists is the power you have in this moment to choose again, to try again, to start again. Don't underestimate the magic of small beginnings, because the smallest steps often lead to the biggest shifts. The stories we tell ourselves shape everything. They become the filter through which we see the world, the limits we think we have, the possibilities we believe in. Every thought, every belief, every quiet sentence you repeat in your mind, it all builds the life you live. Sometimes it's not the past that holds us back, but the story we've been telling about it. And until we change that story, we stay stuck replaying the same chapter, waiting for a different ending that never comes. We all carry a narrative. It starts with a single moment, a disappointment, a rejection, a mistake, and before we know it, that moment becomes an identity. We start saying things like, "I'm just not good enough," or "I always mess things up," or "maybe it's too late for me." Those words feel harmless, but they become the cage we live in. The truth is, it's not the event that defines us, it's the meaning we attach to it. If you decide that your past was proof of failure, it will be. But if you decide it was proof of growth, everything changes. You can rewrite that story anytime you want. You're the author, you always have been, and no matter how many pages you've already written, you can still change the ending. Maybe your past is filled with chapters of pain, doubt, or loss. That doesn't mean the next one can't be filled with healing, strength, and purpose. What happened to you was real, but it doesn't have to keep happening inside you. The moment you decide to see your pain differently, it loses its power to control you. The mind is an incredible storyteller. It can make you believe you're broken when you're really just evolving. It can convince you you've failed when you're actually being redirected. It can whisper that you're behind when, in reality, you're right on time. Most of the limitations we believe in aren't real. They're just stories we've repeated so many times that they feel like truth. But just because something feels true doesn't mean it is. You can choose a new thought. You can tell a new story. Rewriting your story doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect or ignoring what hurt. It means looking at it honestly and saying, "Yes, that happened, but it's not who I am anymore." It means using the same energy you once spent on regret to create something better. It means realizing that every time you speak about your life, you're casting a spell, and those words either build your future or bury it. The moment you start speaking to yourself with kindness, something shifts. You begin to see possibilities again. You start noticing opportunities where you used to see walls. You start forgiving yourself for not knowing better, for trying and falling, for being human. And slowly, you begin to believe that maybe, just maybe, your story was never about the fall. It was about the rise that came after. You don't need anyone else's permission to change how your story goes. You just need the courage to tell the truth, not the one born from fear, but the one born from freedom. The story that says, I am still becoming, I am still capable, I am still worthy of more, because you are. So take a breath, look back at the pages of your life with compassion, not judgment, then pick up the pen. It's time to write something new, because the story you tell yourself today will become the life you live tomorrow. There's a kind of courage that doesn't make noise. It's not the kind that stands on a stage or shouts its victories to the world. It's the quiet kind, the courage to begin again, the courage to try one more time when no one's clapping, when no one's watching, when the last attempt left you bruised and tired. That's real strength. That's the kind of courage that changes lives, not because it guarantees success, but because it refuses to let fear have the final say. Starting over isn't easy. It means facing the unknown again, stepping into the dark without a map, trusting that something meaningful waits for you on the other side of uncertainty. Most people don't start again because they think they need confidence first. But confidence doesn't come before the leap, it comes after. It's born from doing the very thing you thought you couldn't do. Every time you step forward despite the fear, you're teaching yourself that you are capable, that you can trust yourself to figure it out. The truth is, life will always ask you to start again. Sometimes it's after a loss, sometimes after a dream falls apart, sometimes after you realize the person you used to be doesn't fit anymore. And that's okay. That's not failure, that's evolution. You were never meant to stay the same. You were meant to shed, to shift, to grow. The beauty of being human is that you can begin again as many times as it takes. There's no limit to reinvention. No cap on how many times you can return to yourself. People will tell you that success is about results, the job, the money, the recognition. But real success is measured by something much quieter. The willingness to rise again after life has knocked you down. It's measured by your ability to open your heart again after it's been broken, to trust again after being let down, to dream again after watching something you loved fall apart. That's what makes the human spirit so extraordinary. It bends, but it doesn't break. You see, it's easy to keep going when everything's working. But when everything falls apart, when your plans dissolve, when you're forced to start from zero, that's when you find out who you really are. And it's never the end, it's the invitation to discover a deeper version of yourself, one that's wiser, humbler, more grounded in truth. Every ending carries a seed of a new beginning. The ones who find that seed and nurture it, those are the ones who truly live. Sometimes courage looks like a big decision, changing careers, leaving something behind, taking a leap of faith. But sometimes it's much smaller. It's getting out of bed when you don't feel like it. It's forgiving yourself for the day you gave up. It's choosing hope, even when logic tells you not to. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It says, try again, just once more. And that whisper, that soft voice, is enough to change everything if you listen to it. The truth is, no one ever really starts from scratch. You're starting again with every lesson, every scar, every ounce of strength you've earned along the way. You're not the same person who failed last time. You're someone new, someone stronger, someone ready. That's what makes every restart powerful. You're building from wisdom now, not from fear. So if you're standing in the ashes of what was, wondering if you have the energy to begin again, let me tell you this, you do. You always have, because the courage to start again isn't something you find, it's something you remember. And the moment you remember, everything changes.